seniors that go to a church, spend part of the day, have a meal, that kind of thing. Well, I'm a site coordinator that's a little bit of a weirdo, and I've worked in social services for over 50 years before I retired. Well, not quite over 50, almost 50. And I really felt that there were a few groups that really needed this program. So I have created chaos for myself in coordinating at this site, and we have about 6 different agencies that we deal with. So some of them are people with intellectual disabilities, what we used to call mentally retarded. Some of them go to day programs, some of them go to are living in a residence and go to a day program. Some of them live with their families. And some of the other people are people living with mental health problems and are in supportive housing and have a multitude of other issues that they've encountered in their life. And some people are just living in low-income buildings. Many of them will be seniors. Some of them might be people with disabilities. This particular group you're seeing in the picture is from L'Arche, and people in Europe are probably much more familiar with L'Arche than people in North America. But L'Arche people live in a community, and what we would call our passengers here, although what we would call clients in most social service agencies, they call core members because they're a member of that community. The staff who work with them, that we would call staff, they call them assistants. So in these pictures, you will see one of the people in the ride is a core member and one of the person is an assistant. And they started coming last fall. They're coming every second Wednesday morning this year. And another group of people with intellectual disabilities are coming the other alternative Wednesday morning. This gang, and the staff that we call staff, the assistants, live in 5 of those group homes, group facilities. So they live in the room, they're assigned a shift. The rest of the time when they're not on shift, they come and go and live their own lives, but they live as a part of this community. So it's really wonderful to see these people. And the one story I just quickly tell you is James up at the top. So James came the first time, he paced around, he said, I'm not riding that bike, I'm not riding that bike, I'm not riding that bike. He watched 2 people ride and he said, I'm riding that bike, it's my turn.
Thank you so much, Lorraine, for sharing that story. And now we have the last panel. So I'd like to ask the last panelists to join me up here. And I think we're going to do, just so that you can see what the other panelists are saying, that you sit here at the front row. And Dominica, which one is on first? Okay, so Natalie would like to be last, and Carol. Okay. Would you like to go first, Alanagh? Okay, so Alanagh goes first.
We've got that video,
Yeah. As a brief introduction to Alanagh, Alanagh is from Sorrento, which sounds beautifully Italian, but it's actually north of Perth in Western Australia. And I went to ride with you in Sorrento back in 2019 at the Australian Summit, after we'd been to Rottnest Island to cuddle with the quokkas. And then you took me on a beautiful ride up along the coast, and I believe you're going to show a video from that ride.
Yeah, we are.
Not from my ride, but from that ride.
Yes.
Okay. Here you go. Take it away, Alanagh.
Thank you very much. My name's Alanagh Godderidge. We have a charity called Motion by the Ocean, which we set up 3 years ago to provide support for Cycling Without Age Sorrento, which started, this is our 7th year in Sorrento in Western Australia. Before I offer a brief background on our organisation and discuss some pointers on volunteer retention, let me share with you a video that was made especially for today. This would be a typical route for us. We ride every day of the week, 12 months of the year. Take a look. Yes, it's very special. We look after 20 kilometres of coastline and it's like that the entire way. We don't cross a single street. We just have a shared path the whole time. We're very fortunate. So just a bit of a background on why we got started. In 2017, I left my day job to manage a difficult family situation, spending a lot of time disconnected from my family, friends. I realised I was socially isolating myself, and I decided to reconnect with my community in a way that I could with limited time constraints. So knowing the shared path was along the coast, I knew having a trishaw would suit me. I lived across the road from the area, and I decided to contribute my time in this way. I immediately started fundraising for a bike, which fortunately I got the funds very quickly. I did a presentation at my children's school, and at the end of it, one of the mums came up with a cheque for the full price of the bike. So that's how we got our first bike. And then while we were setting up operations, I discovered the movement Cycling Without Age, and of course piggybacked from existing knowledge there, and here we are today. So we believe in supporting Cycling Without Age chapters and individuals who don't just promote generosity, but actively engage in it generously in a meaningful way. So I touched on it earlier when we were having a session, but this means not necessarily generosity at a level of delivery, meaning the delivery of free rides, but at a level in supporting people who wish their trishaws to be successful vehicles for change in their own communities. This means the sharing of knowledge, being generous in praise for milestones reached, and offering insights from past experiences. Just be a moral support for somebody else doing what you're doing. Living in Perth, we are a very isolated city. So I love hearing from other people, and I love reaching out and giving support and learning from other people and getting resources from other people. And of course, this is one of the reasons why we're here today. We've only got 5 or 6 chapters in Western Australia, and just being with everyone else here today, I'm sure we all take away the same. So there's so much shared knowledge to be shared amongst us all. Though we all want for the same outcomes, every chapter, we have a saying, is it's same but different. I feel we all do the same thing, same but differently. It might be that difference that is somebody's light bulb moment. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a big advocate in sharing the knowledge. I know we touched on the hood. I think it's a wonderful resource. It is something we can definitely do better in Australia. I'm sure a lot of people don't even know about it. But I will often go on there if I'm trying to find a resource that I'm not sure is out there. So anyway, it might be an idea to sign up and see how you go with that. Operationally, we know a daily presence in our community allows for regular impact. We promote our trishaws as community assets. This gives our community a sense of ownership for our bikes. We very much value long, meaningful rides that allow for better connection between our volleys and our passengers. Our route benefits from social spaces rather than the route itself. Stopping to take in the views, interact with those who pass by, and if we manage to nab a dog for a pat, that's always a bonus. Our charity has 60 volunteers who work in both a professional capacity as well as those on the front line offering our trishaw rides. Via a strong support network from all three levels of government, and from sponsorship opportunities, we offer businesses and our fee for service from participating nursing homes and disability organisations. We support operational role for 2 days a week. This model sustains our work and has allowed us to be the most frequent service of its type in Australia and has continued to do so for the last 7 years. Our long-term plan will see us replace a trishaw every year for the next 5 years. Rather than collecting more trishaws, we're very much into fully utilising the assets we have. With regards to volunteer retention, I have been asked how do we hold on to our volunteers for so long? 2 reasons. One of them, our volunteers are very much aware of what their expectations are before they start with us. And the second is storage. I'll go into that. So with regards to volunteers, we very much value a bottom-up approach. I'm led by my volunteers. It's important they are heard and have a voice in the day-to-day decisions that directly impact them during their shift. After all, it's these people who benefit from any positive outcomes. Okay, the storage is always a topic amongst many chapters. For us, we identified very quickly in the piece that piggybacking from existing infrastructure in our community has been the answer. Resulting in good relationships from our community leaders, our trishaw fleet is stored at our point of service. So if you think about it, our volunteers are trained up and they're about to start their first shift. What is it they want to do? What's the first thing they want to do? They want to ride a bike. They don't want to get in a car, they don't want a trailer, they want to get on a bike, they want to provide that ride, put the bike back after their ride and go home. This keeps logistics simple. Keeping logistics simple keeps our volunteers happy and it keeps them around. We're in year 7 and we still hold on to 25% of our original cohort. Saying that, some of them go on 4 to 5 months holidays in winter, but they come back. Resulting in good relationships, this has allowed strong buy-in from volunteers. The convenience of our volunteers, without doubt, would be the most significant factor in the ongoing commitment to volunteering. Providing this prolific service, we need to have our volunteers happy. So that storage and making everyone aware of what their expectations are before they start has been a real game changer for us. We know offering a regular service keeps the cohort connected and relevant. We identified very early on that our volunteers want to be in the saddle for the fun part. But saying that, over time, when confidence is established within our cohort, a volunteer may want to come on board and wear a second hat, and we very much value that. We love to unleash other skill sets within the group and utilise valuable talent and intellect within that cohort. I'm just going to go through a few things, not any particular order, but things that work well for us. So once our volunteers are trained, their first ride, we get them to go out with a family member, maybe their mum, their dad, a supported person, their grandma. So this lets their family know what they're all about, and it is extra buy-in. So our volunteers love to use the bikes for their own family members. Because our logistics are kept at a minimum, it means our volunteer can go pick up a trishaw, go give mum and dad a ride, and it doesn't impact scheduling or myself or the booking coordinator. It's because that bike is easily accessible, they can use that bike for their own friends and their own extended family members, and that is an initiative that is very much valued within the charity. We've also empowered our volunteers to confirm their own rides. So a couple of days before a ride, the volunteer will make contact with their passenger and then they will reconfirm on the morning of. So empowering our volunteers to do this enables a connection to be made before they actually meet their passenger and may iron out any miscommunication. So if, for whatever reason, if the volunteer thinks the ride's at 10 and the passenger thinks it's 10:30, anything like that will be sorted out at the phone call beforehand. This just means less work for the booking coordinator as well. We have a really good social media presence. It's really interesting here. A lot of people have come up and said, I love your Facebook page, I love your website. Engagement is so important. All 90% of our rides come through our website. We have a very engaging Facebook page, which seems to be the ideal social media platform, maybe because that's our age group and the age group of the people who are booking the rides for their parents. So when our volunteers have had a great experience, or maybe our passengers have had a great experience, we ask them to leave a review on our Facebook page, mentioning the volunteer's name, what a great time they had. I will share that directly with our volunteer group. It just peps people up, lets them know they're valued. So we love doing that. We have a Facebook Messenger group. That's where our roster is posted, and every second day there would be a photo on there from one of the volunteers saying, hey, have a look at my ride, and it just creates connection between the volunteers, because we have 5 bikes, so we're not going to have any more than 5 people working at any one time, but we have 45 volunteers, so it just creates that connection that they won't normally see on day-to-day operations. Right, what else have I got? So we've got a very bright and engaging website, which is continually kept up to date. It's really important that that stays relevant to the community in which we serve. Our webmaster, head trainer and IT person are very much looking forward and working with Christian to support this new booking system. Saying that, we will still be reconfirming our rides in person, though we do very much value an IT system that creates less work. That human connection is always going to be very important for us, so we will still have our volunteers reconfirming that right. And it's really important to pass on praise. So often text messages will come through to our booking coordinator or to the website and say, I love Tom, he did a great job, Mum did this, she hasn't done this in ages, she used to speak French and then she said goodbye in French, and we're just like, where did that come from? And we've all got those stories. We always pass those stories on to the volunteer, and we'll also post it onto the Facebook Messenger group. I'm sure it gives people a buzz and just lets them know that your ride was valued and your ride was talked about with other people. And so we just value little things like that, and I think they're important. I think a lot of us have been in a job and we think, oh, are we really valued here? But we really value our volunteers and we want them to know it. We have created cafe partners. We've actually got 4 cafes that give free tea and coffee to our volunteers and our passengers. I'm working on a 5th cafe at the moment. This is another great way to say thank you to your volunteers. And we all know our oldies love a bicky or a cookie and a hot drink with that initiative's worth about $5,000 to $6,000 a year for us. So we very much value that. The importance of a great cycling route is everything. We have, let's have a look. We value a ride that has historical significance, that has stories that can reinvigorate memories from our passengers. So a lot of our coast has changed over the years, and we love hearing those stories from our passengers. So even though you may want to start a route in a new area, or you're floundering and trying to get momentum, just sort of think what you're offering. I mean, our bike rides are wonderful, but they're just a tool for enabling that connection. So there needs to be a great view. We are very good with volunteer catch-ups. We do them 4 times a year. We do a morning tea, But really anything with alcohol gets better numbers, so we tend to do sundowners. We prefer volunteers who live locally, so they can see firsthand the impact they are creating on their rides. We believe this engagement creates great social buy-in. After all, no one is more invested in the community than those who are providing for it and living within it. Often special friendships are formed between a specific volunteer and their passenger. Often our volunteers look forward to regularly seeing the same person. We find passengers like the predictability of the same trishaw pilot, and we always say to the volunteer, look, if you've got this connection and they want to have another ride with you, between the two of you, you just let me know when you want to do that and I'll put it onto the booking system. They love familiarity, and they've already, if they do a second, third or fourth ride, that conversation can continue and they can have a more meaningful connection. I think that's why we really value our long rides. They're about 15 kilometres, and we have our favourite coffee partner is at the 7.5k mark, and yeah, there's a lot of conversation that can happen during that time. What else? Getting towards the end. Last thing, which is really important for the volunteer, is to be respectful of their time. They've given up half a day to volunteer their time. If the ride is to cancel, or the passenger is to cancel, we always have a last minute ride list that we can always fill. I never want to cancel a ride. I think if someone has taken half a day off work, let's get them out and value their time and make sure that ride proceeds. We provide internal surveys to get feedback from our volunteers. That's really important. And we also instill a no blame policy for incidents. We probably all do that anyway, but it's really important to let our volunteers know that at the beginning. You know, shit happens sometimes. So we just want them to know that we don't blame you. We'll take it back to our training, and if we need to improve something at our end so nothing untowards happens the next time, it's just learning for everyone. Anyway, it's from all these points that have kept our volunteer engagement high. We've been really fortunate. We've always had a waiting list for volunteers who want to come on board. And should you have a waiting list too, always stay engaged with that waiting list. I learnt that I wasn't in the beginning, and then that waiting list became dead. So just to let them know you're still valued, we do want to get you on board, we don't have a position at the moment. So that keeps your list fresh. So that's what I have to offer. I have a lot to say on sustainability and funding as well, but you know, it's only short. But I just wanted to give a really big thanks to CWA for making this summit possible. I think I wouldn't be surprised if some of us come here today and they find their light bulb moment. It really means a lot, and I've really appreciated meeting you here. And if you think that we may have some knowledge that would be of benefit to you, please come and see me, or I can leave some cards at the front. Please take a look at our socials. They are so important for community engagement. We have 3 very good community Facebook pages. One of them has 24,000 members, and whenever we need to maybe fill a ride for tomorrow, I'll put it on that page and they just get snapped up. It just creates conversation. There's tens of thousands of people on there. They're seeing our Facebook page, they're seeing our website, and I think our trishaws sell themselves. They're a very visual tool, but people need to know about it. So anyway, take a look, see if you get something from it. Thank you.